Next time, baby. Next time. Alright, hey everybody. It's me again, and today we're talking about another concert I went to. And this, as was previewed in the last video I made, it was a concert with John Anderson and the Paul Green Rock Academy for the 50th anniversary of the Yes album, Close to the Edge, which is my favorite Yes album. And because of that, this concert was so good. I mean, I love all the Yes albums I've listened to. I've listened to 4 of their albums so far, and all of them I really enjoyed. But the Close to the Edge is overall my favorite, and I just loved this concert, and getting to see an entire album, which is one of your favorite albums of all time, played right before your eyes is just amazing in my opinion. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is my experience at this concert. Alright, so we got there around maybe 6 or so, and unlike the previous concert, this concert was a sitting down concert. So you're actually sitting down in assigned seats. Whereas at the Get the Let Out concert, you're just assigned to a certain area, but you could basically stand around wherever you want. But for this concert, it was a sitting down one. And, for a while, we're just sitting there and we're just talking amongst ourselves and whatnot for maybe about, I don't know, for definitely a much shorter time than was at the Get the Let Out concert. And during that waiting time, a King Crimson song comes on, and I pointed it out to, everybody who was sitting near me. They're playing Book of Saturday. During the waiting session. I was not expecting this. Pretty awesome. So, yes, there's a King Crimson song playing, to my shock, in the stadium for not a stadium, in the auditorium. To my surprise, for background music, because I was not expecting a song by them, because they're very progressive, and it was actually from the Lux, Tongues, and Aspic lineup, which actually also surprised me. But, so after that song, we're still just waiting there, for the concert to start. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Paul Green himself, the guy who owns the Rock Academy, comes on stage, welcomes everybody, and we are given an opening act with the students from the academy, not even John, who's going to be playing with them. This is a full-on opening act, the first ever opening act I've ever seen, and it's the Paul Green Rock Academy playing. And if that King Crimson music, specifically I think it was Book of Saturday, was sort of a foreshadowing of events to come, then here's what it is. They're playing for King Crimson! And John's not even here! Yes, they were playing One More Red Nightmare, a song from my favorite King Crimson album, Red, which, well, yes, it is their second most popular album, probably. I was expecting something from, if they were gonna play a King Crimson song, I would expect normally Schizoid Man or something, or In the Court of the Crimson King. But no, they played One More Red Nightmare, and it was really cool, because I didn't expect there to be an opening act, and even less did I expect them to play a King Crimson song, and even less did I expect them to play a song from an album that isn't in the court. So, that was pretty cool for an opening act. And the rest of the opening act that they did was, mostly pop songs and and stuff like that. Like, like some pop songs, some like sort of like poppy rock songs. Nothing really too special, to be honest. But they were good musicians, and I remember they ended the opening act off with like this cool. At least I think it was the end, but at some point during it, they did this cool, like, instrumental, like, this jazzy sounding instrumental thing that sounded pretty cool. And so, yeah, then after that, we're just waiting, for the concert to start. And then John comes, and for whatever reason, he begins with an intro to some acoustic song, probably from one of his solo albums or something. But so he starts off with some song, I think it's called like Gathering the Sun or something like that. But yeah, he starts off with that song, and then they go directly into Owner of a Lonely Heart. So that's the first Yes song I hear live. And then they did I've Seen All Good People, which is where the concert really started to pick up for me, because Loner of a Lonely Heart is a good song. I definitely prefer Yes's stuff from the early, 70s to their 80s stuff. So they play, I've Seen All Good People. But then from there, the set becomes a really weird mixed bag. Like the first set, not the second set. We'll get to the second set, but, it's a really weird first set. Here, I'll describe it for you. So essentially what it consisted of was a mix of both Yes songs and some random covers, in addition to some of John Anderson's solo material. And there was also some, and for pretty sure most of the covers, they would do them as mashups into some other song. For example, for one of them, they did Kashmir by Led Zeppelin into Don't Kill the Whale from Tormato, which is Yes's album from 1978, I think. And from there, I think they actually did some rap song or something like that. Yeah, of all things, a rap song into, I think, one of John Anderson's solo songs, or maybe some cover. I forgot. Then I think, right after that, because, again, I'm not perfectly remembering this, they went into this really weird solo song by John Anderson, and I don't even know what the heck it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be a joke, honestly. It was called Screw You. It was called Screw You. Yeah. He's and he even said he even said fuck during one of the lyrics or something. And I'm pretty sure the song is supposed to be a joke, honestly, because I remember nobody in the audience was taking it seriously. Everybody was like, fuck. But it was a weird song. Overall, the first set was very weird. But thankfully, more towards the end of the first set was when the concert again started to pick up. So I guess I think it was towards the end of the first set, if my memory serves me correct, that they started going into some more Yes material. Specifically, 3 songs from Fragile. I think earlier on in the set, what they did was they did Mood for a Day with these 2 female guitarists. So there was 2 guitars, and yeah, they did Mood for a Day, which I thought sounded really good. The whole audience was going nuts for it, surprisingly, even though it's a quiet instrumental. I was a little surprised that they were all going woo! During the instrumental, even though it's supposed to be a quiet thing. And I personally would have preferred to have heard the clap, but hey, Mood for a Day is still really good. But then, thankfully, after a few songs, they then go into Long Distance Runaround, and I start getting fucking excited. Like I start like this is the first song where I really started getting excited. Like, I mean, just listen to my reaction. Long distance run around. Finally. Yeah, I know. But, yeah, so they did long distance run around, and then, of course, they went into the fish, Schindleria praematoris, or no, Schindleria praematoris, yeah, there we go. So they play, long distance run around the fish, and then after that, they go into Heart of the Sunrise, which is another song that got me really pumped up, because it's fucking Heart of the Sunrise. How could you not like that? and again, like, the guitarists here were really good. Like I was shocked at how good these kids were of like guitarists and musicians, and so they do Heart of the Sunrise, and apparently John actually specifically introduced the song with what was it? By saying, that they recorded Heart of the Sunrise on cassette to show to John before they went on tour or something like that, and he thought it was so amazing that it was proof enough that he would have him as his musicians for the tours. And yeah, that's definitely true, because they were really good at doing Heart of the Sunrise. And everybody was singing along, including me. So you could hear my really bad singing voice during it. But, yeah, so they did Heart of the Sunrise, and then the first set ended. Overall, pretty neat. Like, it was a little bit of a mixed bag, though. Like, I liked when they did, a few of the Yes songs, like Owner of a Lonely Heart, I've Seen All Good People, Don't Kill the Whale. I think they did America, but the Simon and Garfunkel version instead of Yes's version. Of course, Long Distance Run Around, and Heart of the Sunrise, and The Fish. Mood for Your Day as well. So those parts of the set I liked, but like the parts where they did like those strange covers and stuff were a little bit, they were a little boring, I'll admit, or just strange. And when they did like John Anderson's like solo material, that's just, some of it just didn't feel as like good to me for some reason. I don't know, especially that weird Screw You song. But yeah, overall that was the first set. Next, let's go into the second set, where things really get good. So, the second set was easily the highlight of the concert for me. And that's because, A, they played all of Close to the Edge, the album in its entirety, and they did an encore of Starship Trooper. Oh, we'll get to that. But, yeah, so, the sound effects for Close to the Edge come on. And then the kid goes into, the opening guitar solo, and I'm all like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. And, like, Close to the Edge is one of my favorite songs ever, so, like, hearing it live and, in its entirety was something I wasn't, like, expecting I'd ever hear. And hearing it was just fantastic. Sneezed. But hearing it live before my eyes was just so cool. And then John comes out with like a different outfit, or at the very least a different jacket. Like, he comes in like running like a plane for some reason. But yeah, they go through all of Close to the Edge, which surprised me for people so young to be doing such a long song, like people around my age. I thought that was pretty cool to see, and they did a terrific job with it. Like all the instruments sounded good, and like I was just going so hype in the audience. I knew like all the lyrics, I'll admit, like, so I was like singing along to the whole like 20-minute song, and while like everybody else was just like sort of dancing to it. I was even singing during the sort of slow, quiet part. Close to the Edge just turned out so good. I loved it. Then, of course, they did the other 2 songs in the album, like And You and I, which was also really good, and actually had a guest guitarist come on stage, and not a member of the Rock Academy. I don't think apparently it was some friend of John's. So they have this guest guitarist comes on stage, and don't worry, it's not Steve Howe, but so they have the guest come on, and then after that, And You and I with the guest guitarist and whatnot, they then go into Siberian True, which was another song where I was like getting all hype and singing along, and I was doing that to all 3 of those songs, I should say. I was doing that to all 3, and yeah, again, all 3 turned out terrific. And of course, they did implement some of the extra musicians and instruments they had with them. So, for example, like during And You and I, instead of using the Mellotron as was used on the original album, they instead used a mix of the guitarist and a violinist they had, or some sort of string instrument. And during like Siberian True, I think they also had a saxophone player during a few of the songs. After they played the whole Close to the Edge album, John Anderson randomly goes again into some other like acoustic thing, where he's singing about, I don't know, something. Something. I have no clue what it's about, but anyway, so he plays some song on the acoustic guitar, but like before that, everybody's saying like oh, do an encore, do this song, and I'm over there saying like Starship Trooper, and then right after he's done with the acoustic instrumental, he's all like Starship Trooper, and then they go into Starship Trooper, and I start going nuts. I was all like, they heard my wish. They heard my wish. And they do Starship Trooper. They do the whole song, the whole 9-minute like main part of the song. But then for the ending instrumental section called Worm, they extended it far beyond what the original was. Like the original version felt like really short by comparison to how they did this. So after like the first, guitar solo, then the other instruments also begin to join in, and then the girls, or like the backing singer girls, they come up and they basically start singing like Great Gig in the Sky. I was thinking to myself, like, all of a sudden, Great Gig in the Sky, and so they start doing like wordless vocals to the song. One of them pulls out their phone and circles around the audience and the auditorium, and then they go back into like the rest of the guitar solo, and then after Starship Trooper ends, they go right into Roundabout from Fragile, and the whole audience was like jumping and partying. Like these were the 2 songs where, for whatever reason, everybody got out of their seats and started like standing. Like I didn't even know until now just how popular Starship Trooper was, because it's one of my favorite Yes songs actually, and I didn't know that it was that popular. So I think it's probably because it was such a big concert staple for the band as the years went on, because they would always do it as like an encore. And again, a lot of the people who were at the concert clearly were really old and had been to actual Yes concerts back in the day. Even though Yes didn't play the song on the Yes album tour, but they did play it for like the Close to the Edge tour and onward. But so they played Starship Trooper and Roundabout, like, and everybody was like standing up during it. Everybody was like partying to it, and like the lights were going like nuts, and they were all like circling around like the stadium. Yeah, then after that song, the show ended. So I don't know if those counted as encores or not, because they went into them like fairly quickly, like after close to the edge. So yeah, I don't know if I can really count them as encores per se. But yeah. So that was my experience with the John Anderson, Paul Green Rock Academy Close to the Edge show. It was really cool. I highly recommend going to see it. And again, guess what I got? Another set list, baby. My second concert. Another set list. Yeah. Next set list, baby. Oh wait, but not just the one for the opening act. And we got another set list. God, I'm building up a collection of these. Yeah, I got both. One of which was on sale at the stand, and actually had like a custom drawing from John Anderson himself on it. So yeah, I got 2 set lists that night. One for the opening act and one for the main set. Man. I'm building up a collection of these now, haven't I? It's just pretty neat that I have like, how many set lists would that be? Like, yeah, I have 3 set lists now. I got them barely within a month. Like, no, not even within a month. Like, within like a couple weeks of each other, I got like 3 set lists, which is pretty neat, you know? And the person who always gets me the set lists this time just told me like, oh, just go up there, ask them for the set list, and they gave me the opening act set list. And then we went to the stand, and I saw that they had the limited edition John Anderson drawing set lists. So I also bought one of those. And then after that, I think I also got a shirt. Yeah, I got a shirt, but yeah. So that was my experience with the John Anderson concert. I highly recommend going to see him if he's playing in your area anytime soon as of the making of this video, or if the Paul Green Rock Academy is playing in your area anytime soon, because they were really good musicians, and they're really nice people. Because actually one of the musicians was actually selling the stuff, and I talked to him about the show a little bit afterwards, and I actually asked him about how they played One More Red Nightmare as the opening act, and they said, oh, because this is a progressive rock concert, we figured we might as well play a progressive rock song for the opening act. And that was pretty cool. That I got to meet one of the band members as well. So yeah, so if John Anderson and Paul Green Rock Academy are playing in your area, I highly recommend going to see them. It's a great time. It's a great show. And while from first impressions, from me watching videos of it, I at first was a little skeptical as to how good it would be, but then I go to the concert and I'm having a blast. Sure, this first set could be a bit of a mixed bag, but believe me, it really does pick up, and when it picks up, it is so worth it. I just highly recommend going if you're a Yes fan. So yeah, check this John Anderson's concerts out if he's playing in your area. You won't regret it. Anyways, I'm signing off now. Have a good day.